Did you know that 1.4 billion pounds of waste enters the ocean every year? Over 1 million seabirds, 100,000 mammals, and 100 million marine animals in total are killed every year as a result of pollution. Aquatic pollution is a massive, ever-growing problem in today's world.
Time is running out, and this problem needs to be extinguished extremely soon, or the beautiful blue-green ocean as we know it will vanish, replaced with a murky wasteland. Most do not realize it, but the consequences of this constant contamination can and will be deadly. Both human and animal rights are being violated by the destruction of ecosystems, unjustified deaths, eradication of fishing communities, and the contamination of our most limited resource, water.
Pollution enters the ocean in many ways. Sewage plants directly deposit waste and fecal matter into the ocean, which is the number one contributor to ocean pollution. Land runoff, which picks up oil, pesticides, fertilizers, and other harmful chemicals, is the second largest contributor. Other main contributors include air pollutants, industrial wastewater, maritime transportation, litter, and offshore oil.
Annually, the U.S. alone disposes of enough water bottles to circle the Earth almost 190 times over. That rate is getting higher every year, and that is not including recycled plastics. This figure represents the plastic going into the ocean, which is a subcategory of litter, which is only 5% of the total ocean pollution. These numbers allow one to imagine the sheer amount of pollution contaminating our ocean. All of this pollution is not just sitting there menacingly. It is actively harming and damaging every single part of the ocean.
Countless ocean ecosystems are ravaged by pollution as they're affected by reduced oxygen levels in the water, decaying plant matter, disruption of coral reefs, and absorption of harmful chemicals. All of these effects of pollution are destroying ocean life everywhere. Oxygen levels in the water are lowered by plastics. Oxygen is the fuel for breaking down of the plastic bonds, and that oxygen comes directly from the ocean water. Lowered oxygen levels in the water is bad news for all ocean life.
Another consequence is decaying plant matter. Plant matter decays because of chemicals being released into the water, coming from plastic decomposition, fecal matter, toxic runoff, and many other ways, which change its activity, kills nutrients, and contaminates the source of life for plants. These chemicals affect every part of the food chain because animals are either absorbing the chemicals or eating the plants who have been contaminated. These chemicals can affect bodily functions, primarily the reproductive system. Contaminated sediments seep into the sand and silt at the ocean floor, which is consumed by small fish and other creatures, who are then eaten by predators. Coral reefs are also affected by pollution, as the chemicals and sediments deposited into the ocean floor disrupt the structure and functions of coral. Humans cannot ignore all this pollution. It is unjust to the animals to do so.
Pollution is not part of the food chain. It is eaten, absorbed, and obstructs life with no natural place. Animals do not deserve this, and it is in violation of their rights. Every animal has a right to live as long as it doesn't interfere with major human projects and is not being used for food, sport, or being legally killed. It is unjust to have millions of unnecessary animal deaths every year, especially when they are dying painful deaths at the hand of factors that can easily be avoided.
Oil spills illustrate the brutal picture of one way these animals are dying. The oil infiltrates the feathers and gills, causing issues with breathing and flying. The chemicals in the oil are extremely toxic, affect birds, fish, turtles, and all types of marine life as it tampers with the food chain. Oil layers on the top of the ocean block sunlight, disrupting photosynthesis and killing plants. Oil spills are just one way these animals are being killed, and there are many other disturbing consequences of pollution. Some are going relatively unnoticed and are violating human rights as well.
Aquatic pollution has drastic consequences for the fishing industry and all those affected by it. Most people have eaten seafood like lobster, swordfish, or shrimp. All of these animals are affected by ocean pollution because they live in the water, they drink the water, and they eat other things in the water as well. Countless countries and communities make a living off fishing or capture the shellfish, and they will be left without work.
Fishing communities are and will continue to be ravaged by all types of aquatic pollution. When rivers, lakes, bays, and harbors are all being contaminated, fishers lose this valuable life source, their fish. When a source of power from a whole community is taken away, it is extremely hard to recover from it. In the case of fishing communities, they are being destroyed because they have no major food source and no way to make living. Human rights are being violated because these communities did not deserve to be obliterated. They simply were another victim of pollution. The fishers are falling into poverty, starving and losing everything that they had because the ignorance of people worldwide.
Campaigning to end aquatic pollution is a must, as the problem is constantly growing. If not remedied soon, humanity will regret it for all of eternity. Some government and private organizations have already started towards the cause. In the U.S., the Office of Wetlands, Oceans, and Watersheds, abbreviated OWOW, helps combat all types of aquatic pollution. The organization describes their work in an official quote. OWOW works to protect our freshwater, estuarine, coastal, and oceans ecosystems, including watersheds and wetlands. We regulate and monitor ocean dumping and vessel discharges and reduce aquatic trash and marine debris. We protect water quality and habitats in 28 estuaries around the nation. We control polluted runoff and restore impaired waters.
Worldwide, other organizations and programs are being established to help. United Nations launched their Clean Seas program, a campaign to reduce ocean contamination all over the world. Another example is MEDPEX from Norway, a research team who works to provide statistics used by all types of people, including government officials, scientists, and even students. All in all, humans have a huge role in this ocean pollution. We caused it, and it is now our duty to stop it. If no one attempts to solve the problem, then the consequences will be tremendous.